I'm Geoff Baker of the Seattle Times. Welcome to Around the Blogosphere, our daily rapid-fire look at all the goings-on regarding the Seattle Mariners that can be found in the local blogosphere. And we're going to start this morning off with a look at USS Mariner, where author Dave Cameron has a look at the Mariners' middle infield situation, specifically the situation at shortstop involving Jack Wilson and Brendan Ryan. Now Cameron makes allusions to comments the other day by Eric Wedge, Mariners manager Eric Wedge, that he's going to give more playing time to Brendan Ryan at shortstop this spring. But Cameron says he wouldn't make too big a deal out of the comments just yet. He figures the Mariners are planning to do a rotation, which would see Jack Wilson start off as shortstop and then be replaced from time to time by Brendan Ryan in order to rest Jack Wilson's legs. He figures Wilson can't be counted on to play in more than 120, 130 games a year, so it makes sense to do a rotation of Wilson and Ryan, a limited rotation at shortstop, and then you rotate Ryan and Adam Kennedy at second base, and that way you set yourself up as well for mid-June when the Mariners could call up Dustin Ackley and they could start bumping players down the line. So if Jack Wilson stays healthy, he moves on and gets traded, then you slide Ryan over to shortstop and you move Ackley up to second base and get him some playing time along with Kennedy. It makes a lot of sense to me. We've been saying much the same thing on Geoff Baker Live the last two nights, and I'm in full agreement with what Cameron has written here. It makes a lot of sense, especially the rotation part. Moving on down the line, we got Mariners Central, where Lonnie takes a look at relief pitchers and tries to make a case for relief pitchers being valuable. He says, there's often debate about why relief pitchers are put on a team's top 10 prospects list. So he takes a look and makes an argument for why relief pitchers are valuable, and a lot of it has to do with the higher leverage innings that they pitch. Meaning, the argument goes, the higher the leverage, the more valuable the pitcher can be to a team. And it's not just something that comes to the top of your head. There's actually real value you can pinpoint at that point. So that's what Lonnie has to say about that. And then we move on over to Lookout Landing today. And Lookout Landing is kind of poking fun a little bit at manager Eric Wedge. He was talking about an article by my colleague, Jerry Brewer, in the Seattle Times regarding Justin Smoak, first baseman Justin Smoak. And there's a quote in there from Eric Wedge in which he says that he could see in Smoak's eyes that he was different at the end of the year compared to the way he started last year. And there's been a lot of comments about eyes made by Eric Wedge this spring. And, I'm sure that you can tell something by looking in a player's eyes, but it's becoming a pattern right now. And if he's not careful, it could become a running joke the rest of the season. So we're going to keep an eye on any eyes comments by Wedge from here on in. And I know for sure that Lookout Landing definitely has. And finally, we'll take a look at Soto Mojo this morning, where author Griffin Cooper has decided to play Pepper, as he calls it, with members with other blogs that are part of the Bloggers Alliance, and what the Baseball Bloggers Alliance, I should say, and what he's doing is answering 5 questions that these other blogs submit to him, and he has asked questions of other blogs as well. But he's mentioned the questions that he was asked to answer, and a lot of them have to do with the team, where he thinks the team's win-loss record is going to be, and how he thinks the Mariners' off-season moves went this year. Some of the more interesting questions for me when I was reading it were there was one about Eric Bedard, and in it Griffin Cooper gives an estimation of how many innings he thinks Bedard could contribute this year and what he would be happy with. So I would take a look at that if I were you, because I found some of the questions rather interesting. So I've got to get off to the ballpark. That's about it for now. Just a reminder, I'm Geoff Baker of the Seattle Times, and if you want to find out what's going on with the Mariners, you can stop right here and just keep reading this blog the rest of the day. Thanks very much, folks.